Hi guys, thanks for having me. All good, bud?
Yeah, do it.
That's a good idea.
This one's again.
Yeah. All right, welcome. So, my name is Jesper Skibsby, and I'm the CEO and founder of the company called Warm. We are a platform and app that allows everyone to track and monitor any song on radio stations around the world. So, in data we trust, because data is knowledge, and knowledge is what we sell. Warm has currently a database consisting of 27 million songs, tapping into aggregators. You can also upload your own song if you have a song you want to be able to monitor before a release. We currently are monitoring 21,000 radio stations in 100 countries, and we expect to reach about 35,000 channels stations within the next 18 months. Currently, we are covering 3 times as many stations as the existing preferred solutions by the rights organizations. And we are covering both FM terrestrial, DAB, digital radio, and online radios. So, what is the problem? Well, for far too long, it has not really been possible for musicians or independent musicians or managers, labels, small labels, to really know in real time when a song is being played on a radio station. So in reality now, everyone can use it, and that is what we are seeing in our customer base at the moment. So why would you use Warm? Well, first of all, it gives you transparency, and in a format that nobody really has. So you can obviously use it for controlling your radio promoter. If you hire one, it's often very expensive. For smaller artists and labels, you would probably try and do it yourself. Then it's pretty important to know what stations and what countries you have a trend. Your tour booking agent would probably like it as well, to see in real time where he should be active, and so on and so on. And last but not least, it would make a lot of sense to contact your PRO, maybe help them finding missing money in Turkey and some stuff like that. So, we're ready for the dashboard. So I'm gonna just give you a quick intro, and if you're interested, we can go deeper in before or after. So let's go here and say we want to look at my songs. Let's go for Justin Bieber. I know he has some airplays. So here we are able to see his airplay traction in the last 7 days. And let's say we wanted to look into the UK, for example. Then we'll get a clear view that he had 766 airplays on his track Sorry for the last week. And we can even see there were 28 airplays in Oxford. We can get more into details afterwards, obviously. So we should try and disconnect. All right, back on track, and then all right, subscription model. So how do we make money? First of all, we have a pretty easy solution. There's 2 options: €5 per song per month, and a 12-month subscription for 36 euros, which is flexible. So you can actually change your song in running order, as most artists have 3, 4, 5 songs released a year. Our registered users look like this. We launched in mid-April, so we've been up and running for 2 months, and we just reached around 1,000 users. Our first quarter looks like this. We are creating revenue already, even though we also have a freemium model for the first month. We are expecting to reach €3,000 in this month. So how does the market look? Well, it's pretty difficult to say how many musicians or how many managers, but we have tried anyway by taking the different rights organizations, figuring out how many members in specific countries in this case. So from this we will see that there's like 1.3 million musicians, but obviously not all of them are active enough. So we have made a rule based on experience from the Danish association Coda. So in this case we expect close to 260,000 users would be our market to go for, which will obviously be even bigger if we look into Eastern European countries and even more into Asia and South America, where especially in Brazil and Chile and Peru, this is really booming with new musicians. Also, Spotify releases approximately 30,000 new songs every day, so there's a lot of musicians and a lot of music going on. So how do we do this? We use audio fingerprint algorithm developed by our partners in Fraunhofer Institute in Ilmenau called BAC Technology. So what we are doing is by using satellite, we are locating the frequency on the FM stations, and online we can listen directly to the stream, and yes, that is probably the most important. So how does the future for WORM looks like? Well, first of all, our next sprint would probably be within genre determination. It's a tricky one, but we think we can solve it by machine learning. So every time you upload a song, you will, individually say this is rock, this is death metal, or drum and bass. And in the end, we will have an algorithm we can use for the radio stations to actually figuring out if this is a rock station or if this is an urban station and so on. So in the end, we could build a radio promotion system for independent radio stations and musicians to connect and build like a very clever way of doing radio promotion for the future. We're also able to monitor TV stations the same way, and we're looking into a new business model for smaller and medium-sized labels, etc., which needs more than one song or two songs. So our team consists of me and Christopher, I brought with me here, and our head of communications, Sharon, which are back at the office in Copenhagen. That was it. Thank you.
So may I go ahead with the first question?
Yes.
So there are, from my experience, there are quite a few services that offer this. There is even one in Romania that monitors the entire market.
Okay.
How is your service different? And if the artists are already using something, how would you convince them to switch to your service?
Well, first of all, I do not know the company you're referring to.
Media Forest, it's called.
Media Forest, that has not popped up for me, but I will definitely look into it. Well, how we see the most of our users, they don't really use this, or they say like we expect our record label to do so, or our publisher, or I think someone is doing it somewhere. And reality is that most PROs are using BMAT, radio monitor, media base, and combined, they probably only cover around 8,000 radio stations.
And you're covering how many?
21,000.
In how many countries?
100.
And so I know that a lot of the artists are affiliated to labels and so on and so forth. Is your target market the artist himself, or is it the label and
Well, first of all, there's a lot of complications in terms of how can we collect money, and like the larger the company, the more they are reluctant to look into that. And what we really want to is create like an idea from the bottom up. So by using this as a marketing tool, this is like a Swiss Army knife. You can use it for multiple purposes, and that is kind of the idea. And in the end, I think that this will pressure that, like the PROs and the major labels, etc., to use this and interact with it, because we can't have a major artist coming to his label saying like, I don't know, Sony, why can I see more airplanes than you do? And they're like, well, I'm only focusing in this territory or something. So I think that by using this from the bottom up, it will create the disruption it needs.
So what you're saying is that, from your experience, there's no solution like this in other countries, and you're looking at a...
Well, we know there's ACR Cloud, a company based in Beijing, and they are covering 300 radio stations, and they usually pay per channel. So they are contacting us, and the same goes for all the other competitors we looked in. I know a lot of them are using scraping, which is not at all as accurate as audio fingerprint. So no, at this point I haven't found anyone who can do anything like this, on this scale anyway.
Question on the technical side, why is covering more stations better? Because also like for TV advertisements, like you cover a standardized sample and then you extrapolate it, like why doesn't it apply to radio stations?
Like your short question is, why is it important to monitor a lot of stations?
Yes.
Yes. Well, basically, a radio, how much is an airplane worth? It's very individual. So like if you released your first song, you want to know if there's a small radio station in Los Otos who's placed your track. And if you're a medium-sized artist, you would like to know in what countries, in what cities. And so from my perspective, anyone can use this in any way, especially musicians, managers, labels, etc.
Sorry, me again.
No problem.
I have a music streaming service, so unfortunately I know how the whole industry works. And one issue that exists is that even though you know how many songs have been played on the radio, the collecting societies spread the money just on a totally different model than per play.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, at a certain level, it doesn't even help you to know exactly how many listens you have.
No,
If you know
but
what I
sorry,
mean.
30 seconds.
Okay, but
So this is a model really interesting for, I think, for your business. That's my conclusion. Your business should be more focused on the record labels, not the artists themselves, and maybe find a model which is not $5 a song,
okay,
because they have millions of songs.
I agree, but on the other hand, nobody knows how many listeners on a radio station. Like your PRO could tell you, like we estimate or guesstimate it has 1 million listeners, it has 2 million listeners, and so on. But every radio station, more or less, are online, which means you could have a lot of listeners in other countries.
All right. Okay.
Super. Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.